An Alex Ovechkin hat-trick and 40 saves from former VGK goaltender Logan Thompson send the Golden Knights to their second straight home loss. We'll talk about it next, right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. You can find us wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com, America's #1 sportsbook. Chris, you and your son last night, first you witness history, the Caps, Alex Ovechkin, scoring the hat trick en route to his 864th through 866th career goals.
Crazy number to begin with there, but yeah.
That lifts Ovi to within 13 goals shy now of Wayne Gretzky's career mark. How special was it for you and little Chris to see this live?
I mean, listen, Ovi, to be fair, I smiled when Ovi got the Stanley Cup in Vegas, a few seasons back. So Ovi is just the type of player that I don't know if anyone besides Sidney Crosby has anything to say bad about him, or Pittsburgh for that matter. But Ovi is just an absolute national treasure. I don't know what else there is to say. The candle still burns really strong. And given the circumstances, given the season, given how he's nearing that record of Wayne Gretzky, it is very special to witness it.
It was 5-2, the final score. VGK falls, 40 saves, as I mentioned, from former Golden Knights goaltender Logan Thompson. And in the Caps win last night, an emotional tribute last night. You spoke to LT, who made his first start at T-Mobile Arena since he left the team. I was looking for him. I thought he had an autograph table on the concourse. What was his mood like last night? And was he excited to play against his former team in Las Vegas?
He's happy that it's over with, number one. This is obviously a tough game for both teams. I mean, I know it wasn't the happiest of breakups, but I don't think that negatively impacts a lot of the friendships and relationships that they have. I mean, you watch them in warm-ups going up to, skating up to Aiden Hill, and they're exchanging some pleasantries. I saw him and Brett Howden kind of nodding at each other from about 20 feet apart, so Logan is not the type of goalie that's when he's playing, he just gets in the zone. It doesn't interact with anyone. Very personable on the ice, off the ice as well. And it was just a very, genuine night to watch the way he conducted himself. And obviously he conducted the business side of it pretty well too.
What was the fan reaction like? I couldn't tell. I'm going to tell you, I was in Denver yesterday, this whole weekend, and on Nighttime Minus, I'm telling you, it was a better reception overall than I've ever had here in Vegas, anywhere in the city here. And I'm in Denver, a few hundred miles away, right? And it came in clear as a bell. So no buffering, no issues, no problems. I could watch the game. I couldn't tell who was turning over the puck for VGK because they never mentioned that. Of course, they run. But yeah, it was good.
That 720 pixelation doesn't help either, unfortunately, for that. Solution. Let's all move to Denver, I guess, and we can utilize that app.
Okay, it's pretty good. But what was the fan reaction like?
Oh, I'm sorry, Tony. Fan reaction was good. All that. Yeah. No, you say Nighttime Plus, and it gets all sorts of things rolling.
No, I said minus. I said minus.
I know that. So the fan reaction was good. I wasn't sure if there was going to be a couple boo birds out there because obviously Logan requested the trade, and then of course it wasn't the happiest of circumstances afterwards. McCrimmon obviously goes on NHL Network and does his thing. Logan had some comments to say, but it was a celebration of his career. It definitely was, and Logan he was quivering. His bottom lip was definitely quivering. It got him more than he thought it would, and it's not knocking anything. I think the length is what got him. He said he was surprised how long the tribute was, and it certainly got to him 100%. And it's good to see. I mean, it's
good to see.
Yeah, I mean, they're still human. They're still humans out there.
Yeah. Why does it appear that VGK is not listening to Cassidy? This was like last night post game. We were supposed to do this, do the neutral zone, this and that, and nobody, things falling apart a little bit. I just can sense that the team. This is like the second or third time in the past couple of weeks where Cassidy's talked about, hey, we prepared for this. We told you yesterday that we were going to do this, and it just doesn't happen.
I mean, listen, the reality is when the Golden Knights play tough teams from the East, it doesn't work out well. Florida, Tampa, Carolina, Washington now. Ottawa was also, a decent team. Golden Knights won that game. I don't know how Ottawa's doing at the moment, but so teams against the East, they have a hard time with. But honestly, this 11-7 crap, that's what's doing it.
Why?
So my assumption is, so you heard Cassidy, I guess, was making some comments last night about players not being ready, like a Denisenko, to take an everyday role. Brendan Brisson, who we thought might have been injured in Henderson, he's not injured. He's not injured.
They don't even mention his name. He didn't. He said, yeah, we'll have to look down to Henderson to see who we can bring up.
It's because Brendan Brisson is not an NHL player, nor is he close to being an NHL player. That's just the reality that we all have to acknowledge. And same with Denisenko. As far as other players, I mean, I don't know. It's bad. They're developing down there right now. They're not churning out players who are ready to come up and contribute. They're developing. I mean, what about Ronbjerg? What about Ronbjerg? He's a warm body that can play defense. So a couple things happening. I think one, they're trying to something with LTIR, cap accrual, all of this stuff that plays into this, which also tells me that McCrimmon is going to cook something at some point this season as far as a trade, or if Tony's going to say he's going to cook the books, I'll beat you to it there.
Cook the books.
The other side of this is what 11-7 does. So Ben Hutton, I believe, lined up as a forward last night. But you kept seeing the defensemen, the defensive pairings changing. I feel like they were rotating that extra defenseman through an awful lot yesterday. And listen, if you're going to go 11-7, just have your seventh defenseman on the bench if they need him for a spot situation, fine. But it was like Cassidy was trying to utilize all seven defensemen, and it definitely caused some issues with chemistry. There it is, Tony. Just positioning, and a lot of time I saw back to Pietrangelo and Shea Theodore out there together.
Oh, geez.
Yes. That's a concern right now.
Enough of this. And Hanifin, my goodness, another bad game for Hanifin. Could he become a bust? I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, he was really hot I mean, I guess from an offensive standpoint, he was hot for a minute, and he hasn't done a lot since. As far as what he does on the ice, a lot of what he does will not trigger on the score sheet as far as his skating ability and transitional game and things like that. Someone I saw on Twitter mentioned that Noah Hanifin is always on the bottom of the hockey stat card right now. Always on the bottom of that report card.
We've been watching it. What do you mean?
He's on the bottom. He's on the bottom.
It was next to last night.
Yeah, Barbashev. It goes Barbashev, Hanifin, Dorofeev, Korzak, McNabb.
It's every day.
Eichel.
It's been every single day.
No, it's fair.
I have to ask you about this. So you were at the game last night, and VGK losing its second consecutive game on home ice. The Golden Knights, I thought, were very tentative despite having 40 shots in that game. There were a lot of open looks. I saw Eichel going back to being Eichel, where he does not shoot the puck. Okay, so he shoots the puck, I guess, top 10 or whatever in the NHL. But when he has open looks sometimes, he's overpassing still. He's still overpassing.
I mean, listen, he's still, I think, first or second on the team in overall points, so he's doing something right. But yeah, I mean, in a game like that, you certainly need to get inside more and need to generate more. I mean, 40 shots, they had some good chances. I mean, let's give Logan Thompson his flowers there. Logan had a phenomenal game. Brett Howden snuck one behind from the strange angle. And then Keegan Kolesar, of all people, gets the goal with the extra man on the delayed penalty. So I will say Kolesar, strong game. I think this might have been one of Tomas Hertl's best games from a 5-on-5 perspective. He looked really, really good out there. And obviously the hockey stat card agrees with that. He almost got the highest possible score almost all the way over. So, there's some positivity to take from it. Is there enough positivity right now? I don't know if there's enough at the moment, but hopefully Mark Stone's coming back this week. I think that will certainly help a lot because that'll fix a lot of the line issues as well as that 11-7 crap too.
He was mentioning Cassidy that Huddy, that's Hutton, I suppose, and Corsi, I think that's Korzak, that he had to get them into the games the other night into the game because their dads were here. Because their dads were here. Yeah.
That's
so again, he's doing that. What's happening here? I mean they're playing Logan Thompson for tryouts, right? Like, what is going on here?
No, I mean, listen, exactly. No, I'm glad you went there with this. I forgot about this till you just said it. So Aiden Hill's getting starts based on Team Canada. But if you want to, let's talk about this for a second, Tony. Why would the Golden Knights, and I know the answer to this, but why would the Golden Knights not run Aiden Hill out against the Caps?
Absolutely. I know.
Answer is they're protecting him. Is they're protecting him, and they're trying to pad the stats with some of the lesser teams in Anaheim and Utah right now. So you have that crap with the Team Canada stuff happening. You have Brandon Brisson drawing into a game because he's from somewhere in Southern California.
Right. Newport
and then
Beach,
now we have Korzak and Hutton getting in because it's the friggin' dad's trip. And all love to that situation. Like, I know it's special. I get it. But this is the NHL. This ain't the AHL. This ain't the Federal League, Tony, which you were scouting last week. This isn't the ECHL. This isn't the OHL. This isn't the Q either. It's about putting out the right lineup that wins games, whether it's the goaltender, whether it's the 18 skaters or 17 skaters, however you want that to go. And a lot of questions about why things are happening right now. And again, they're worried about Team Canada right now. Logan Thompson's got that job all but short up right now as number one.
So now Huddy was a late scratch last night. Is that correct? I think Ben Hutton.
No, Hutton played. Hutton played. It wasn't much at all, though.
Okay, but I still say they're going to get rid of him. I say
2 minutes and 40 seconds of ice time. Good job, Hutton. Good job.
I think that was his farewell with him and his dad coming in and all that. I hate to say that. I'm just getting that vibe. And then Alexander Holtz continues to struggle. Can he ever score?
So we're starting to understand. We're starting to understand why
a bust.
Again, Tony, it's game 17.
I know.
I don't think we're going to call anything.
Let me have some
the only busts started were the beginning of last season. Come on, Tony.
My brain is still thawing out from Denver. Broadcasting games this weekend. I got to tell you, Chris, there was a multi-purpose facility. Did you see? Oh, hang on. Okay, just leave that there for a moment. Okay. They had this multi-purpose facility. Did you see my photo? I put a picture behind the net. I had to do it. Dasco knows nothing about hockey. I'm there at a hockey rink. Okay, so what in the world? Is that the Maverick? Is that
all
the
about Maverick? Last night was all about Maverick.
So
Maverick led the team on the Golden Knights, but it looked like he got away from the media person that was bringing him down the tunnel. And I was waiting for Maverick just to jump the boards and wind up just running like a maniac out there. But I think they got him before because he definitely got away from the tunnel, because when they showed him coming down the tunnel, the Maverick.
Yeah. Oh no, he's been a terror. I know the person that handles Maverick.
Oh, Maverick's a troublemaker.
Yeah, she said he's been a terror lately.
I mean, listen, fine, it's cute.
It's
they're raising money. I know for some animal
shelters.
Foundation shelters.
Foundation. Yeah, shelters. Okay.
So from that side of it, it's nice. Is this a little too much maybe for Maverick? I don't know. Where's Goldie, Tony? Where's Goldie?
You were looking for Goldie. I think you
I've been looking for Goldie for a while here, and unfortunately,
Maverick had as many points as William Karlsson last night. That's why I put it. That was my lock of the night. Yes, we will get to this goalie rotation. We'll talk about that.
Karlsson was a -1, and at least Maverick was 0.
He was 0. Yeah, exactly. Even though he's a terror. Of course, coming up next, what happens to the VGK goalie rotation now with the Golden Knights as they head to the road? We'll talk about that next right here on Locked On Golden Knights. The FanDuel Sportsbook app, it gives you everything that you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com. Come and join today. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. You will get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Great to be back with Chris Goalie. I am Tony
Let's move our
Cordasco.
names down. Our names are too high on that screen, but I don't care right now.
Yeah, they are a little high there. It's,
A little high.
yeah, we might be able to fix that someday. Sometime. Don't forget, it's like sometimes, like the Chris and Chris Jr. show. And, of course, Fridays are WTF. So how do things go with my man Condos? I didn't have an opportunity.
We got Chris 2.0 right now. That's what they're calling him. We got way too many Chris's right now. It's fun. I mean, Condos brings that kind of Chicago Midwest flavor in there, and we have a good time hamming it up. I mean, me and Condos, we go back to about 2008 in Vegas, as far as just knowing each other, and we've been in the fight a lot, I guess, as far as working alongside of one another, and now it's kind of cool to get to do something recreationally, I guess, and kind of talk sports. It's no different than what we do on the phone or text messages randomly anyway. And now I guess we're doing it in front of some people, and people seem to like them. So that's good. That's good.
They like my new replacement. Okay.
They like your replacement. Yes, Tony, exactly. Your replacement.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I didn't get any.
There might be what's it called when people
petition
going on? I haven't seen it, but I've heard, allegedly.
So Ilya Samsonov gives up 4 goals on 20 shots last night. What is going to happen now with this goalie rotation as VGK hits the road?
They're going to Canada. 5 games for Aiden Hill. Done.
It's going to, yeah, that's right. They're going to have an opportunity to scout him in person up there in Canada.
I mean,
what do you think?
Well, Wednesday, Thursday, they're both playing. The Golden Knights are
both goalies are playing?
Toronto, Ottawa, back-to-back. It's a back-to-back scenario, so I would assume it's going to go. Well, although Toronto, Samsonov, former team, so there's actually a shot maybe that Samsonov goes 2 in a row because that's the thing right now. There is a shot, and maybe that explains why Samsonov didn't play against Utah on Friday.
Interesting.
Out there.
Wow.
So either way, you're seeing both goalies, whether it's Hill for Toronto or vice versa. And then, I mean, I'll bet the next 5 games, the goalies rotate equally. Which one starts the road trip is probably the biggest question, but I think it'll be an equal rotation. I think there's been a conscious effort to get the goalies equal starts, and I think Samsonov may get a couple extra games to possibly catch that up a little bit. But Aiden Hill's been playing well. You got to give credit to Aiden Hill as well, too.
What is so VGK now 11-0-1 on the dad's trips? What is the record in that game after the dads leave? There's a little dad hangover. Let's face it.
There might be. I honestly don't know.
We need to find that out. We should check that out.
Sounds like a job that you can handle.
I can definitely not do that. Condos, you're my replacement.
I mean, listen, look at the last 2 games, Anaheim and Utah. Again, not great teams, but a 9.41 and a 9.17 save percentage. The Carolina game is what it is. Seattle game wasn't great, 8.75, but then against Edmonton, a 9.31. So we're starting to see flashes of Aiden Hill right now. I know we're both kind of down on Aiden, but got to give him credit. You're starting to see the difference maker that Aiden Hill has been at times in the past. So we'll see what happens on this road trip if it continues. Samsonov, I mean, listen, Samsonov was fine last night. He didn't lose the game by any means. But it was an example of when you're watching the goalie on the other side just not steal the game, because he didn't need this. Logan didn't steal the game by any means, but Logan was great. He made the extra save. He made that one more save probably 15 times in that game. A few complete sellouts, a few times where pucks were deflected and tight. And, Samsonov, you didn't get that last night. You didn't. There's a couple nice saves, don't get me wrong, but Logan obviously won that battle.
With that 11-7 structure, was Huddy, as they call him in the locker room,
Hud was the
Huddy? Was Huddy the lone wolf? He was a lone wolf, yeah. Who was it? Dallas last year in the playoffs? We just had that when they went 11-7. I don't remember if it was in the playoffs or not.
Nils Lundqvist, right? Is that who it was?
I think so. Sounds about right. But remember, he just would go out there like him, just by himself, his own line, his own
But to
pairing.
be fair, there was Pete DeBoer had a plan with them, and they're rotating. They have 2 extra forwards, and they rotate 3 forward lines, and then they spell someone through there. So they're ready for it. They've been doing it like that for a long time. Coach Cassidy's not ready for it, and I think Coach Cassidy really tried to make a lot of changes to the deep pairings last night, and I didn't like it. I didn't like anything.
Who is this? Who is this on? Is this on McCrimmon? You have Henderson right down the street. I'm not quite clear on why this happened.
And Cassie didn't give a real straight answer last night.
No, exactly. He's the company bro.
Well, I ran into some media friends last night. We were all walking out together, and they said Cassidy was a little bit chirpy about it, I guess you can say, and seemed a little annoyed. I thought Cassidy was annoyed by it. I want to say on Friday during the presser. If you go back and watch Friday's pregame presser, I think Ashley asked him about it, or someone did, and you could see Cassidy the starting to sway a little bit. Tony, there you go. But you can see, just hear his voice, like, yeah, 11-7. All right, here we go. And it's what's the greater good of going 11-7 near the end of the season as far as cap accrual and stuff? I don't know. There's capologists and people can go on Puckpedia and figure all that crap out. But again, 11-7 at games, 17 and 18 of the regular season.
There's something.
Game 17 and 18 of the regular season. You have the goalie rotation being dictated by Team Canada. We already talked about the dad's trip and the players playing because their dads are on the trip, and Brennan Brisson because he's from somewhere in Southern California, which, by the way, is pretty big. I don't know how close to the Staples Center he grew up, but there's concerns right now. And this is
about a 2-hour drive to go. I think it's 10 miles or 2 hours. 2 hours drive
easily. But to be fair, so is Vegas with that F1 crap too. So,
oh boy, Alex Pietrangelo, wrong place, wrong time. First goal by Ovi goes off of his skate again. He just doesn't seem to be positioned right. I don't know that Pietrangelo's playing well this season.
Pietrangelo had a wonderful streak where, what do you get, 9 points in 3 games or something just absolutely crazy like that. He went on an absolute tear, and his hockey stat card last night I don't think was that bad compared. I already lost it. I had it up here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay. His hockey stat card was right in the middle, right around Nicholas Waugh, Brett Howden, and William Karlsson. There you go. But also, to be fair, Pietrangelo's stat card, the left is bad, the right is good. That's the long and short of how all this works. And he goes up to a little over 1.5 on the right, which is very far. But he's actually the lowest rated as far as going on the left. So that means Pietrangelo had some moments of brilliance isn't a good word to use, but some really good moments. And then he had some real terrible moments.
And he had some real bad moments.
But how much has on this 11-7 changing everything up and putting him and Theo out there together? I mean,
don't get it. I don't understand what's happening there. There's something behind this, and I think we will see it'll come shining through here on this road trip because again, we'll be able to watch.
Stone's as good as back on Wednesday. Let's be fair. Stone is as good as back.
Is he? Okay.
He's skating for a couple days already, and I think Coach Cassidy also mentioned that the 11-7 is going to take care of itself on the road trip. So Mark Stone comes back.
Thank you, Bruce Cassidy, for again listening to our show or watching it. My bingo card a couple of days late. He mentioned last night blue paint. He had to go there. I know he's trying to get those words in. He's trying as hard as he can. Hey, the dads went on.
Obi scored on a shot pass.
Oh, God, don't get me started, please. Oh, you are killing me. The dads did go on that bobsled run. I think I told you about it up in Park City that I did it before. So there's no ice. I don't think there's ice up there on that track yet. But there is a bobsled track that I went on in Park City. Oh, yeah, that's my favorite sport in the Olympic Games, period. So I was like, oh, they have this bobsled track. So me and a few friends, we went up there, and they have wheels, but that thing's just flying down. It's on the bobsled run that we'll see. I
remember a terrible roller coaster at Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois. It was called Rolling Thunder. I know I got some Chicago friends, maybe Condos or E-Runs or anyone else. And it was a bobsled coaster, but it was terrible. I remember being there around opening week or
Bobsled
something like
coaster.
that. It was a bobsled roller coaster, but it was bad. Like people were booing as they got off, like on opening week and stuff. And yeah.
Coming up next, VGK resigns Brayden McNabb for 3 more years. We'll get to that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. We are driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 360 million global monthly visitors. And this is according to Indeed data and a matching engine that helps you to find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, for screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you to hire faster. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. Join the more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show, what show are we doing today? Oh, Locked On Golden Knights. You will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/lockedon. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying that you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/lockedon. And terms and conditions, I should say, do apply. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, getting back into the groove, Mr. Goalie and Tony
I'm far from
Cardasco.
the groove right now, but yeah.
Yeah, you are a little under the weather. Hope you feel a little bit better today. I know you have your business and stuff, and I'm surprised that I could still talk because we did games all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Basketball games, high school games. And after, we did all these games. On the bright side, the cool thing was last night, as the tournament wrapped up with coaches there and coaches tuning in, a lot of kids got more offers. So that was really cool. Yeah,
Awesome.
a bunch of kids, and that's really good because, of course, I go out of my way to make sure that they look good, like I do on this show with you. Sort of.
Thanks.
Brayden McNabb.
I'm wearing a hat today. Look at this. I slept so crappy last night. My hair stayed in place.
It didn't even move, bro. That's a good look, man. Brayden McNabb.
I like the
he
Caps
signed a 3-year, $3.65 million AAV extension over the weekend. We had a feeling that would be one of the players that they resigned because they didn't have to spend much or put much effort into it. Were you surprised that they did this into the season? And it's a 33-year-old player.
Yeah, but defensemen usually, and obviously we've seen this with Marchessault, but defensemen usually go into their mid to late 30s at a higher level, Alex Ovechkin notwithstanding, but into their mid to late 30s at a higher level than forwards do. So it's a good signing. I mean, 3.6, I was hoping it could have been closer to 3, but it's not a bad contract by any means. It's a win-win for player, for team, for term, for everything. McNabb is probably the anchor back there of the defenseman. He's got good hands, and when he takes a chance to go in and score a goal. But I mean, probably one of the best, most underrated hip checks in hockey. Very likable player, been with the team since day one, and now it looks like he's going to finish his career with the Vegas Golden Knights. Possibly, we'll see what happens at age 36 or 37 when this contract is up. But good situation for the Vegas Golden Knights and all parties concerned.
Imagine his body after blocking so many shots at age 36.
That puck hurts. I've been hit with that puck back when I was reffing a few years ago, and a 50-mile-an-hour puck at a spot without pads is terrible. Now stepping in front of an 80, 90, 100-mile-an-hour slap shot, I mean, just brutal.
26 points last season. That was a career high. And so I think, again, a little bit of a surprise is just that they're starting to knock off like some of these contract extensions in season.
Well, it looks like there might be a $10 million increase in the salary cap next season.
Oh boy.
That broke, I want to say yesterday or Saturday. A few different noteworthy sources have been citing that. So $10 million. I mean, that's why I still That's the hill I'm willing to die on right now. If the Golden Knights might do well and compete this year for a cup, and if they do, that's wonderful. But I really think the plan is 25-26 with that salary cap going up, more contracts up, more creativity by Kelly McCrimmon. You might see some really aggressive moves, just regardless of how the team is doing. You might see some real aggressive moves at the trade deadline because you don't want to get caught in a bidding war, I think, in the offseason. And people always seem like draft picks, and the Golden Knights always have a stockpile of them somewhere. They find a way to get them.
Yeah, we'll see on this road trip, and we'll get into it more tomorrow. But we're going to see, I think, Cassidy now owning this team. I think we might see more of what this real team could look like. They're away from everything.
We've been
There's
saying
no more
that.
cameos for players. Hey, you know what? If you haven't seen Thompson play in net, Hill, if you haven't seen Hill play in net, then you're missing out. Thompson's the number one goalie for Team Canada. I'm going to tell you right now, he's number one.
The only one who has something to say about that could possibly be Jordan Binnington. I don't have his stats in front of me as far as save percentage and stuff.
No, he's on fire.
No, Thompson should be number one. Absolutely.
He'll be number one. He will be. He will be. It's coming up here by American Thanksgiving. That's in a week, 10, 11 days.
Does Hill get a spot? Like that's the.
I mean, could you imagine if Thompson shuts him out? He blocks him. Thompson for the block. Could you imagine? So everything was cold last night. You got a chance. So
yeah, I mean, we were a guest of LT's last night, which was really cool. He's been a supporter of us. He's been
Is that cap shirt? You had a Capital shirt on. Whoa,
cap shirt. It's a cap shirt. Whoa. Chris is wearing a cap shirt. Got some compliments from Spencer Carberry, the coach as well of the Caps. Very nice guy.
Carberry?
He was
You did. Okay, what did he say?
We got him on with the coach of the Caps. So I have a friend that actually is down there in the tunnels doing security and stuff. So, well, first we had our the passes to go down, but then my buddy took me and Chris onto the bench, so Chris got to go onto the visitors bench and things like that for a little while. Carberry was meeting with some people in the stands. So after he was walking down, I just flagged him down. We got a quick word with him, and it was fun. He's genuinely a nice guy, and when you watch his videos like that the NHL or Twitter puts out about his motivation and stuff like that, he gets through the players and he treats the players very, very well. I'm not comparing him to any other coach in the NHL when I make these statements, to be clear about this. But he definitely has a very special relationship and treats the players very fair. I've heard that from somebody.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad that I have a voice today and that you're feeling a little bit better and we were able to do a show today.
We're making it. We're making it.
It's good to be back, bro. Yeah.
It's good to have you.
All right. We appreciate everyone tuning in around the globe. Thank you so much, especially our first timers, whatever I said, our longtime listeners.
First timer becoming everydayer. There you go.
An everydayer. Holy smokes. I'm out of sync. Real fast before we depart. They hand me a drop to read that I've never seen before. And my broadcast partner's just laughing because I butchered it pretty bad, as usual, like I do on this show. And I've already read those 100 times. Of course, don't forget on Fridays, WTF, Mr. Goalie. Saturdays, it's the Chris times Chris, maybe times Chris Junior show. Maybe it's all three Chris's. The hattrick.
I don't know.
Something. He's trying to sneak his way in, that Condos guy. And thanks again to Chris Condos for filling in. That was awesome. For my man, Chris Goalie, I am Tony Cardasco, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Hopefully my voice is back in full right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Take care.